Good to see you. Yes. Love your content. Spiritual business. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it. I like to say it's not my content. I'm just the channel for it. I just got out of the way and I let the divine presence speak through me, and boy, is that liberating. You know, living all this life, particularly the past 40 years, when I was 13 years old is when I left the church, because I couldn't put together the whole concept of believe everything you're being told and don't research, and then you're supposed to fear a God who supposedly loves you. It made no sense. So I walked through the valley of shadow for 40 years. I feared evil. I feared evil, but I thought I was on my own. And then finally, when I realized that this divine presence that exists in every single one of them, you can call it the Sophia, you can call it the spark of light, the Tikkun, whatever you want to call it, exists in every single one of us. All we have to do is to just get out of its way. It's like letting somebody take the wheel of your vehicle when you feel like you've had enough. And this is where you are right now. This is where we all are as a collective right now. And there's nothing more beautiful to watch than this. To see every single one of us awakening to the truth of the divinity of who we are, and detaching ourselves from the matrix, from the illusion that has been fed to us for millennia. Let me know where you guys are joining me from. Philippines. Hi Ray. Hi Ray Garcia. Nice to see you. Couple of days anyways. Have you studied Keylontic science? I just started learning about it. Never heard of it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. But I will tell you, I'm hearing about a lot of things for the first time, and I cannot tell you how excited I am. Let's hear it, Blue Heart Design. What's the question? Ask any questions you have, guys. That's why I'm here. I'm here to just chat with you. If you have questions for me, I'm here to, not from a place of knowing anything, from a place of getting myself out of the way and maybe be able to channel whatever information you guys need in this very moment on your journey. How to overcome narcissistic abuse. You walk out of there like as far as make your head spin. Like literally you walk out of there, because there's no such thing as healing a narcissist. They may, I don't know, never met one. Maybe they act like it, some of them. You find them here on TikTok even talk about it. There's an entire science about it. But all it is basically you accepting somebody to treat you in a way that in an ideal situation you wouldn't let them treat you that way. And I know it because I was there, and I question myself every day, and I try to alter my behavior, so God forbid, walking on tippy-toe, so I watching what I say, watching what I do, and then asking myself, is this what I want in my life? If I truly loved myself, is this what I would choose for myself? If in a perfect world, if I had all the choices in the world, no, that's not what I would choose for myself, because I love myself and I respect myself, but I wasn't at the time. But that narcissist in my life taught me just that I was not loving myself. And for that, I'm grateful. There's nothing for me to forgive on his part. On the contrary, just to be grateful that I finally was able to see this in my life, because I have been codependent and I didn't realize, but that means I haven't been loving myself and I didn't realize. We don't realize this. We think just because we buy ourselves new shoes and new vehicles every few years and take care of our bodies and eat good food, we think that's self-love, but it's not. It's the saying no when you want to say yes. If you want to, when it's bending over backwards for everybody, it's people pleasing, it's trying to fit into places where not only you don't belong, but you do it by altering yourself completely. So that's what a narcissistic relationship does for you. It's the best gift you can possibly receive in your life, but don't stay there. Don't stay. Please know that you're guided along the way. Take the decision to stand up for yourself, and you will see that the divine presence within you, it will be guiding you step by step, will be holding you by the hand while you cry, while you mourn, while you go out of your mind. Don't worry, you're going to lose your mind, but you're going to find your soul. So let them go, block them, complete blocking, and be grateful that you got away with just that. I hope that answers your question. It woke you up. Yes, that's right. Exactly. It wakes you up because we don't realize, man, we are being thrown into this world by society, our parents, and our parents don't know either because they've gone through the same exact things. They don't know how to teach us. Look, value yourself first. Honor yourself first. There's 8 billion people on this planet. One of us will vibrate at the frequency of our love. So that's what we have to do. Guiding loved ones, especially adult children, with trust, patience, and love. You can't guide anyone with anything, Light Body One. There's nothing you can do for anyone. Everybody does it on their own. Although it might look like we are on this journey together, we are at a collective consciousness level. But otherwise, the inner journey happens on your own. So what happens is the absolute only way you can convince anyone to maybe look within as well and just see that if there's anything that they can let go of and maybe have a little better outlook on life is not by telling them what to do or how to do it. Unless, of course, they ask you. Not by telling them. In most cases, people don't ask because they don't know what to ask. But here's when they will know, when they see the change in you. When they see that you have become more patient, whether you have become more trusting, when you have become more compassionate, more kinder, more allowing, more accepting their own reality from their own perspective, not from your own perspective. And when they see it, they will come to you and say, Mother, or friend, or sister, or my daughter, or child, how did you get here? Tell me. And then you're going to tell them. And then they're going to be open because if they see it in you, guess what happens? They see it in you only because it already exists in them. Because you don't see anything in someone else unless it exists in you already. That's how you remind people of the journey that we're all on. By becoming that journey. By becoming one with the path. By becoming the channel for the divine presence within you. So they can see you changed. And that will change them. I hope I answered your question. Martyrdom was more common. I grew up in a household with religion where martyrdom was common practice, trying to deprogram. Yes, this is probably one of the worst things you can do, but let me tell you, divine tunes, and by the way, I appreciate your wisdom and your comments and your way of seeing things, and I really love it. I appreciate you asking me questions as well, because there's nothing I love to see more than people asking one question and unblocking eternities of traumas and ancestral wounds that just basically catapult them into the 12th dimension of consciousness and merger with Christ. There's nothing I love to see that more. So to answer your question, let me tell you something, that martyrdom, you don't have to come from a religious background necessarily, although that's where it's rooted, right? It seems to be like a general concept of the matrix, of the programming of the matrix, where we're made to believe that we have to overdo things, we have to try harder, do more, perform more in order to be loved. So in other words, we become motivated by this approval that we receive, but we only receive this approval if we do what the other person wants us to do. So if we keep on doing that, but that person will never actually give us the love that we want, because it's a pattern that is supposed to allow to make us see something. So if we keep on doing all these things and we don't receive that love that we look for, We become bitter, we become sorrow, we become, and this is when we are the martyrs of our own story. A martyr is a victim. Or you can just take ownership of your power and say, you know, I don't need anybody's love. I got my own. Reminds me of the rooster from, or hawk from Foghorn Leghorn. When he gets all burned down, he was trying to court the boy's mother, you know, because winter was coming. And then he's all bandaged up because he got burned up in an explosion, and the widow invites him in and he said, I don't need your warmth, widow. I got my bandages to keep me warm. Those are your bandages, your own love towards yourself. That means you always are self-contained. There's absolutely nothing you need from the outer world. That is true independence. That is true sovereignty. And from there, as you extract yourself from the stories that are created by the Matrix to keep you hooked into this loop of reincarnation, that's when you liberate yourself. And you don't need to do anything for anyone, only so you can be loved. Because you already got that cup full. You can do them just because you feel like helping them with something or serving them with anything, you see. So that's the deprogramming that we all have to go through. First, we must seek the kingdom. The kingdom is within. First, we have to go within. But going within, going inwards, has another aspect to it as well, has another interpretation to it as well, which, by the way, came to me today. But it's based on an experience I had about a month ago when I was very deep in meditation, a very deep trance, and I saw myself as the I, the divine presence, yes? And then I saw myself expressed as me as Carmen, right? So I am the expression of the divine Carmen. But then I saw Carmen expressed in all kinds of, let's say, I call them like tentacles of an octopus, where they're just everywhere. All the things, all the concepts, all the ideas of who Carmen believes she is in this matrix, whether I am a real estate broker, whether I have a mortgage, whether I, have to pay landscapers, whether I have to pay my electric bill, whether I have to, all of the things, whether I like to wear linen clothing, everything that I identify with from the standpoint of the physical existence. And back in the day, well, I'm vegetarian, now I'm fruitarian, and now I'm this, I'm that. All the labels that we put on ourselves in this meditation, I was extracting myself from inside of all of these tentacles. I was extracting myself, I was going inwards. In other words, whatever part of me that was existing in this matrix of the mind, of the belief that I am, the illusion that is being created within my mind for millennia, I'm extracting myself from it, and I become one with the I, and I felt the presence of the I, completely unattached to anything that is matrix related. And that's when I understood what going inwards means. Going inwards means go inside yourself. In other words, outside of the physical world. Detach yourself from the physical world. Detach yourself from the attachment, from the need to have it, from the desire to have it. It doesn't mean you're never going to go and have it. You have to detach yourself from the need to have this physical world. And then when you do that, you free yourself from the matrix. And you understand who you truly are, the observer, the you, the I, the before the I am, before the identification with the character that you think you might be. This one where all the tentacles are hooking into the matrix everywhere, with every membership you're having, with every dispute you have on a credit card, with every, complaint you have at the restaurant, with everything that you identify with, you're hooking into the matrix. And when you let all of that go, you realize that, wait a minute, this is the frequency of surrender, but this is also the frequency of being taken over by the ocean, by being the wave taken by the ocean in the divine direction, and not the wave fighting the ocean in, trying, oh, because I want to be this or I want to be that, and this is who I am, and if you don't like it, whatever. That's not the way. You see what I'm saying? And this is the freedom where you know fully that you're always being guided, guarded, protected. All you have to do is get your hands off the wheel and let that wave ride. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you for the gifts. Oh my goodness. A hawk came to my kitchen window 2 days in a row, same time. It was just staring at me. Oh, that's so beautiful. It's definitely a wonderful omen. It's definitely a wonderful omen. It's a culminating point of consciousness where it is inviting you, if you're not already on the path, but I am convinced you are, because you wouldn't be hanging out with me tonight if you wouldn't be on the path. It tells you that you're on the right path. And I'm going to tell you something. I did these 2 videos yesterday where I explained very clear that all of these things are symbols of the matrix, of the simulation we're in. But we have to shift our perspective on how we see the simulation. We have to stop looking at it as if it's a trap and look at it as if it's a tool. It's a tool for our awakening, because the divine presence is in absolutely everything, including in the matrix. The absolute way we can express ourselves into this physical world is if the matrix exists. Otherwise, we would be just floating around like ether in a blissful state, feeling nothing else. But if we have available this system, this simulation, as they call it, right, is the hologram of the mind, is to my understanding. If we have it available, we actually get to express ourselves in the most beautiful ways possible, you see. And so this is what the hawk is telling you. You are on this path, and it's showing you you're in the right path. It doesn't mean that you have to focus your entire life on studying hawks. Just like a tarot reader is not, giving you the answer of your life. You don't focus on that for the rest of your life. You take it and you move on. You take it and you move on. You make note and move on. And you reach a point on your journey when you finally realize that these were only snippets of information that you needed in the very moment. In other words, you as the divine creator who created this whole game and who put the matrix and with the simulation in this game for you to play in this physical reality, also put every single incident, every single situation, every single moment of awakening, put it in your path with the intention of bringing you home. And that's all you have to do. Just realize that you're coming home, and whatever you see, okay, I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home, without attachment to the story. Are you going back to this simulation or going back to the divine and exploring options? So you don't leave the simulation. There's no living the simulation. In fact, I had left the simulation. I was gone for a good 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months. I was out of the simulation. I actually had trouble coming back in, but I recently had a magical experience where I felt, a lightning going through my body that showed me, allowed me to see the frequency of divine that exists within me. It's kind of like this, I don't know, maybe the next level from the third eye opening. I have no idea. I don't know. It's the first time I'm experiencing all these things. But it's the sign that you are finally under the complete control of the divinity within you. And in the moment you are free to start playing in the simulation without attachment to anything in the simulation. So in other words, I detach myself from my house, I detach myself from clothing, from shoes, from books, from jewelry, from all kinds of things, from my business, from friends. I mean, like, the detachment has been happening for years for me, constantly letting go, decluttering. And all of this have made me completely surrender. I surrender to the idea of even maybe one day, who knows, being with a man. I dehumanize myself. I was in the divine frequency for months at a time, and I felt lost slightly because I realized, yes, but I still want to enjoy all the fun that we have here in the simulation. And then I finally understood you can come back in as long as you're not attached to the story. Your new story is being created moment to moment from within yourself by following the guidance of this lightning, of this frequency that we have buzzing within us. And when we feel good, it's the feel good. That's the secret. When you feel good, this frequency is guiding you. It's like your inner GPS is telling you where to go next instead of you searching for manifesting, bringing into co-creating this and that. No, you just listen to guidance and let the divinity hold the wheel and you just enjoy the ride. That's it. That's it. Have you ever seen someone's soul or spirit in bright gold figure? I don't have these visions. Like I interpret people from their, like if I see them, their eyes tell me exactly where they are in that moment. And I immediately know, like there's a knowing, there's a clairsentience of some sort. Like I know exactly what's bothering them. I know where the root of the pain is coming from. And so I don't really have that much. I do feel the energy inside of me. The toroidal field activate certain times when there's certain subject that I'm focusing on. But I haven't, maybe one, who knows? It's something fun to see the aura around people, but I feel the aura. I don't see the aura. After mind wipe, how do you know if you will be able to rediscover yourself? Because I've been activated for it. I told you I had this lightning happen through my body in a very, very deep trance, meditative trance. And I felt it and I was told this is the frequency that you are looking for while you play in the hologram, in the simulation. So right now, instead of you going to recreate your new avatar, which this was my concept back before this experience where, okay, now I detach myself from the story of the Matrix, all the BS, the history and, all the Roman Empire and Ottoman Empire and all that stuff, stories that were given to us. But not just that, the story of I was born here, there, this is my name, this is my, whatever, it doesn't matter. I detached myself from all these stories and I thought I was supposed to recreate my own story now. Okay, who do I want to be? Let me be somebody fun. No, here's the deal. You do it based on the inner frequency. There's that frequency that when you get in resonance with, it simply activates it, and it's a knowing, right? So you do that by simply waiting. You don't do anything. You just wait. You play. You do something that gives you joy in your house, whether you play computer games, whether you clean the house, whether you read books, whether you cook, whether you garden, whatever it is that you really, really love to do. Maintain yourself in the frequency of feel good, you see? And when you're in that frequency, right, suddenly you're going to have an idea. And that idea is going to bring warmth into your heart. Then you're going to be, oh, let me go ahead and do that. And you're going to start doing that. And you are just being taken on the divine path in that moment when you go from the heart, not from the judgment, not from the fear, from the, oh, if I don't do that, something will happen. Or should I do that? Because if I don't do it, something will happen. Every time you do something based on fear, you step out of the divine path. You get stuck into the matrix again. You see? So that's the secret. To be in it, but not of it. What did Jesus say? Be in this world, but not of this world. This is what he meant. And the mind is not completely wiped. It's just your attachment. It's just your illusion that those things belong to you. Those images that you've created about yourself and your entire life. You see, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm Democrat, I'm Republican, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm white, I'm black. These are all labels that you attached to. They gave you your identity. They made you feel something, maybe responsibility, maybe pride, maybe you felt like you needed to prove something. Once you let go, you still remember you've done all those things and you laugh at it now because you go, boy, did I take it serious. Boy, did I yell at that lady who crossed my goodness, how many times we completely forget who we are. But so your mind is not completely wiped. It's just your attachment to the illusion that, oh my God, I actually used to believe that this is who I was, a real estate broker, you know, coach, writer, fashion designer, like all these things that I thought those were me. Or I thought I was this perfectionist and I was this, that was me. And I was actually taking pride in it. I was taking pride in the fact that I always put myself last. That was me. You see, that was my identity. And I had to let go of all of these aspects of my identity. I still remember it, thank goodness, so that I don't go back to them. I won't. But you see, we have those. So, and you will be able, because the idea is for you to constantly break patterns of behavior. When you used to behave in a certain way before, when you let yourself down and when you let others dictate where your life is going, now you're going to have to say, you know what, I've done it before that way. It didn't work out that well. Why don't I do it differently this time? And that's the whole thing. We keep on breaking patterns until our muscle of detachment from the matrix gets so strong that we're not even going to be identifying ourselves with anything out of the matrix. Best gift I ever have myself 6 years ago was a dumpster. Love purging the material possessions. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Oh, you are so wise, and everything you are saying tonight truly on a roll. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. I'm only wise because you have wisdom within you and you are seeing it. Not everybody sees it. So you are wise, Jamie. I love you, light body. I recently felt the Holy Spirit move through me. I fell in love with everything in my life. That's it, Melissa. That's it. To fall in love with everything as if they're all you. You know, there's a beautiful exercise. I was telling a friend of mine a few days ago, we were talking on the phone. I learned it from Neil Donald Walsh, and it comes from Conversations with God. And he said like this, he said, one day he decided to just, because, this whole expression, I am that, right? Because we are one, right? We are one. And let's try to understand, like, what would it mean for me to be one with everything? So I was getting on my walks with my dogs, and I would just look around and I would say, I am that. And what I would see immediately in front of me, I would identify myself with that. I would say, look, there's a trash bin, we have the ones with a green lid are for the regular trash, and the ones with the orange lid are for the recycling. So I identified myself with the trash, and I said, look, I am the trash bin. In what way I am the trash bin? Well, in many ways. Like my whole life I've been taking everybody's trash, and I just held it and held it and held it, and they came back again and again. These energy vampires, they just dumped their trash on me. I didn't say anything, and I kept on letting them come because I was afraid that if I say, hey, listen, I'm enough, that's enough of your bullshit, and not doing anything about it, I will lose them as friends. Okay, but in what positive way am I am I the trash bin? Oh, okay, well, I contain all the trash that people throw away, like, what if I wasn't here? What if I wasn't available for people? What would they do? Will they just throw the trash on the street? Like, look how nice everything looks with these trash bins, twice a week and stuff like that on the street. And then the recycling the same way, oh, that we're recycling. I am the recycling bin, I'm doing good for the humanity and for nature and all that stuff. So then you go in and just say, here's a lawnmower, the guy who just trims the little sides, just manicures them in the perfect way. And I was looking at him with so much admiration. It was almost like I saw for the first time somebody doing that. And you go, I am that man. That man is a very simple man, and who knows, maybe he's hardly educated, but you know what, he's instrumental. Look at him how he with how much patience trims and manicures these beautiful yards here in my neighborhood. And maybe he's not necessarily the happiest man alive, but at the same time, in this very moment, he's in more zen than most people in this world, because he's absorbed by what he's doing. So what I'm trying to say here is that when we start to identify ourselves with absolutely everything without judgment, without any kind of judgment, that's oneness. Melissa. So I'm just so happy that you share that story with us. Yes. Because you are love. And that's all you are. Love. Let's see, what am I missing? Let's go back here. Okay, how to break the pattern? Well, you identify the pattern. So whenever you identify something that, when somebody's pushing your buttons, the best times to identify patterns is right now with the holidays coming up. The best times. I mean, there are no better times, because your best teachers are your family, whether it's your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your aunts and uncles, whoever. You hang out with them, they're going to push your buttons. But guess what's happening? They push them because you have them. Now, what if you leave your buttons at home? Let's see what happens. I would love to hear a report from every single one of you who has any kinds of trouble with the family. If you leave your buttons at home, in other words, when your relative tells you the exact same thing that they tell you almost every year, how come you're not getting married? Why don't you have kids? You're still in that job. How about, why don't you lose weight? You know your buttons better than anybody else, and you know who's pushing them. And when they say whatever it is that they say, instead of getting upset, instead of, hey, don't hold your breath, make a funny joke about it. In fact, go and find some jokes on the internet to match whatever their meaningness might be, and just throw it back at them with a smile. With a smile. Don't do it in any mean way, but just with a smile. Shut them up. That's it. In a kind and a loving way. Put your boundaries. And if somebody's pushing you too hard, then you say, well, okay, listen, I'm not going to take it any further. Don't do it in front of others. Pull them aside and say, listen, I appreciate you, but this is not working for me anymore. So you may want to take your circus someplace else. And that's it. That's how you break patterns. Stand up for yourself. Be sovereign. Be independent. Don't let anybody run circles around you. But at the same time, do it always with love and with compassion and with kindness. Great to connect with you. Your daily hug from John. Good to see you, John. Thank you so much for being here today. That picture, if you ask me, a small child. Yes, exactly. Realty Surfer. Hey, thank you for being here. Let me know if you want to come in and do a meditation. I know you're a very good meditator. There's my friend Jeff, who has a beautiful attitude towards just helping everybody and being there for them. So let me see who is here. Become aware of an unpreferred pattern. First, yes, exactly. You're not necessarily going to know that the pattern is unpreferred, because you see the pattern comes from the subconscious mind, and it's most of the time automatic, like you have this instinct to react to something, right? It's become aware of the trigger. In other words, and my friend Lisa is living the dream, who's sometimes on the live with me, likes to call them activations, because what these triggers are doing, when somebody says something that gives you a bad feeling, right? That is your moment of activation where you go, I have to do something about this, because our natural state is feeling good. We feel good all the time. This is our divine state. And the moment something rattles our cage and we don't feel good, then that's when we have to go in and have a conversation with ourselves. Hey, how are you feeling? How does it make you feel? In what way? When was the first time you felt this way? So we really backtrack the journey until we find out, and we remove that belief that made us act the way we are right now. So this is basically what we are becoming aware of. We're becoming aware of a pattern of triggering that we are reactive to. Let me see. I think I didn't really take a full breath for decades until I started breath work and meditation. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Breath work and meditation are just, you have to do it. You look so cool. Espa Giselle. Thank you. David, good to see you. Thank you for sharing the video. You hear in the background, tap, tap, tap. Good to see you, my love. I appreciate you always, as always. You are truly divine and a beautiful soul. You only see me beautiful and divine because you are beautiful and divine. Thank you so much, Jacob. Appreciate it. We break paddle. All right, I'm going to go back to the bottom, so hit me with your questions. And I want to know if Jeff is still here. If Jeff is still here, can you ask to join on a live if you want to do a meditation with these beautiful people? Luca Liam, I'm doing wonderful, Luca. I appreciate it. I am a reflection of you, my friend. Yes, you are, David. I want to give a shout out to David Robinson. Oh, and I would love everybody to follow each other, you guys, because let me tell you something. We are creating cosmic consciousness right now. We're rewiring cosmic consciousness right now as we speak. And I'm going to give David a shout out right now because I think David has been following me since, I want to say maybe January of this year, maybe even earlier than that. I don't remember. Back in the day when, I was just, posting here and there and all that stuff. And then the whole, the whole story just flipped on its head when one of my videos went viral in January. And I'm going to tell you something, what David did. He went down all the way to the bottom of my email, of my posts, and watched every single video. And I want to know from you, David, and I'm sure you're still here, but if you're not, well, it is what it is, but I hope you are. Have you felt any changes from doing that? Is there anything that shifted within you? We are reflections of each other, divine cosmic love. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your hair. Thank you. You look so cool. See, I'm reading that again and again, you see. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm going to the bottom. Okay, here's David's answer. Drastically changing and growing every day. My healing is so contagious. This is the one. That's it. The healing is contagious. But I'm going to tell you something. It's not the healing that is contagious. It's the results of the healing. When you see the things that you implement and you embody transform your life, that's contagious. And you get to the point that you say, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. I can't believe that this is actually working. And you just want to go and shout out at everybody. Don't do it. Keep still hold that within yourself. Let the transformation sink in within you. Start embodying, like really show up as that character that you started to become, and then let them come to you. Not sinners. Of course, not sinners. My family is benefiting so much. That's it. Of course, because there's a new you there, and when there's a new you, it becomes a new them. So there you go. You are basically shifting quantum realities in real time. That's what we're doing every single moment of the day. Oops. Results we see, and it's so strong at that moment, but hold it in and let it resonate and shine through. I close this so I can see better on my screen. Most definitely, I'm only seeing better versions of my family. It's so, isn't it? Like literally quantum physics happening in front of our very eyes, moment to moment. It's so beautiful. My pups are feeling it. They join in and lay while I meditate my faith. My dogs used to do the same. Oh my God, it was so relaxing. They would just lay next to me. I love it. Okay, guys. Um, if you don't have any more questions for me, ignore the 3D. Well, I was just talking about that a little bit ago. We don't really ignore the 3D. We detach from the story of the 3D. That's the idea. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe Cool. Appreciate it. Thank you for the gifts. So we don't really ignore it because we're going to have to return into the 3D to complete this mission right here, the mission of feeling good. But what we have to do is to detach of the idea of what, see, what happens is, I'm going to ask you guys a question. And I asked myself this question, and that's why I'm asking you this question. So I was born into a family. They gave me a name. They told me I was born at a certain time, on a certain day, in a certain town that has a population of so many people. We speak this language. We believe some certain religions. And then, you know, my parents had certain income and they were able to provide certain things for me. And we lived in this apartment, and my parents went to work, and I would go to kindergarten, and then I would go to school. And slowly, as I keep on integrating myself into the 3D, I would embody characteristics of the 3D, which means I am being programmed with the script of the 3D being the matrix or the simulation, as we like to call it, right? There is a story that the simulation has. Look at everything. So you've given all this information so far. You go to school, you grow up, you may or may not go to college, you marry, you have children, you go to work, you know, you get a promotion, you get a new car, a new house, you celebrate all the holidays exactly the way they tell you. Like, there's no way I can celebrate Christmas in July. Yes, some people do. Don't get me wrong. I'm just giving you an example. But the point that I'm trying to make, look at it how it's all planned exactly the way, like you are a little robot that has to go through all of these scenes in the script that they handed you at birth. Okay? You guys are with me on this one? Send me a couple of thumbs up or a heart. So we're together up to here. This is what we're living right now. We're living a life where eventually we end up old, sick. We don't get to do the things that we dreamed of, like travel and whatever, the music or whatever, dance or whatever we want to do, because we're too old and too tired, and eventually we die and whatever. So basically it's preparing us to die. Okay, perfect. Let me ask you this question. If you were born without this programming, if you were born and your family never told you no, like, don't do that, no, like, okay, let me hit my head against the wall, it's fine, I'm gonna learn by myself, I'll be fine. Kids are they have a lot more dexterity than us adults, and they know, they have this instinct, right? So what if my parents let me just do whatever I want? I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be an actress. You see, no, I couldn't, because it wasn't suitable, because in that society I had to be a doctor, a teacher, an engineer, or whatever, you see. I had to go that way. But what if I would have been whoever I wanted to be? What if I truly would have followed my heart's desire? You see? What if you would have truly been able to follow your heart's desire? Would you actually choose the script that was handed to you at birth? Send me hearts only if you would not choose the script. And let me know if you would choose the script. We see that which we believe, let go of beliefs which no longer serve you, and we are choice. So how do I make the shift if my children are not seeing what I see? You make the shift. You make it. You make it. They will see it in you, and they will change automatically. You wouldn't even have to do anything, and they will change. I was writing my story where all I had to do was remember, not forget. I know. I thought the exact same thing. I thought, that's it. I'm just writing. Do you know how many pages I have in my journals with my new story, who I am, who I see myself being 5 years from now, and this and this and that and that. But here's what I realized then along the way. You know, these are recent discoveries. In the past year, I've had probably the most epic chasm that ever happened in my life. And it happened one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So basically, I thought, you know, I'm creating my own reality. The power of the mind, I visualize it, bang, it happens. But here I am, I'm still manifesting. I'm still coming from a place of not having something, of desiring something. It's because you're not having something. Do you see what I'm saying? When the Buddhists and the Zen monks and the Taoists say have no desire, doesn't mean you should have nothing or you should use nothing, you should benefit from. No, that's not it. Desire means, desiring something means you don't have it. Because if you had it, why would you desire it? If I had it, I use it. I get to use it if I already have it, you see? But when I desire it, that means I already made a statement that I don't have it, which means also that if I make a statement that I don't have it, means I don't know who I am, because if I knew who I am, that I am divine, then I know that I have access to absolutely everything. Everything is mine. I have access to it simply by shifting my own frequency. But in that case, I don't need to desire anymore, because if I have them all in me, the question then becomes, okay, then what do I do? Like, in what way do I express myself in this world? Very simple. You do what your heart desires. In other words, do what makes you happy. You love to crochet. Do you lose yourself in crocheting? Get lost in crocheting. Do you lose yourself in horse racing or horse riding? Go do that. Do you lose yourself in cooking? Do that. Do you lose yourself in dancing? Go do that. Go do the things that make you happy. And if you don't know what makes you happy, sit with your inner child and ask your inner child, what would you have wanted to do if nobody told you no? And go do that. Maybe you would have liked to sing. Go and pay a couple of $100 to somebody to teach you how to sing if you have a voice that maybe hasn't made its way out into the world. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, the worse you are, the better it is. Go make a fool out of yourself in karaoke. Cannot tell you how liberating that will be. You see? So then you realize that I don't have to really do anything, decide on anything, come up with a list of anything. I just have to sit in that frequency of my heart, wherever my heart feels like this is what my heart wants me to do. I'm going to go and play TikTok with the kids. It doesn't matter, like something that your heart really, really wants you to do. Go do that. And when you're in that state, that is your state of complete surrender. That's when you're in flow, right? When you do what you desire. So that's when you're aligned with the divine presence within you. That's the frequency you're seeking, you see? And in that frequencies, there will be a lot of synchronicities that you will know within yourself. Suddenly you have an idea. Let me go and talk to that guy about an organization that we can start, maybe. And then this is how 2 and 2 get together, and there I am. So that's how we make things happen, by being in guidance and not in desire. Oh my God, that's interesting. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope that was an enjoyment. This is just an avatar. We are observers of it all. Absolutely. Yes. My script was rough, but I escaped as soon as possible. No regrets, because I would not be me now. Absolutely. Absolutely. You explained it so well. You answer questions I didn't know I had. I know, because I answer them exactly the way I would have answered them for myself when I needed them on my own journey. But I'm here to tell you that the answers came from within. I want you to listen to me, but don't believe everything I say, because I'm just a storyteller. I'm only sharing my story. But if they resonate with you, it's because those same answers exist in you already. So that means everything else is inside of you already. So practice stillness and continue to listen to the divine guidance, and that's it. That's it. You are the light. The answer was always there within us. Absolutely. You touched so deep. Yes, the idea that desire means lack. Yes, absolutely. That's the idea, and it's been misinterpreted. If I desire something, somehow I'm some kind of a sinner or some kind. No, that's not the point. The point is that if you desire it, that means you don't have it. Because if you had it, you wouldn't have to desire it. That's what I'm saying. Everything is inverted. We have to analyze absolutely everything and say, wait a minute, what does this mean? What does this mean? Until there's a moment when we are so aligned with the divine that we don't have to look for meaning anymore because it's all there. We don't need to use any more meditation. We don't need any more yoga. We don't need, well, unless we do it for practice and, for our physical muscles and stuff. We don't need tarot. We don't need crystals. We don't need anything. We don't really need anything because we have it all within ourselves. Did you see Jesus Christ walking around with beads for prayers and stuff like that? Did you see him walk around with crystals? I don't think so. Or with tarot. Let me pull your tarot card for you. No, because he was a quantum healer, because he already understood that every single possible reality exists in the quantum field. All he has to do is to shift his vibration. It's all within. How do you shift your vibration? You don't bring a crystal, because if you bring a crystal, that means you give your power to that crystal. But you have all the power. You have it all within you. You see, I used to wear this black tourmaline crystal because I was going through a period of time when I was very spaced out with so many meditations I was doing. And I've overcome this. Like I knew I can't do that, but I was still wearing this, like a year and a half later, I'm still wearing the necklace, right? And then suddenly I watched a video on TikTok and somebody said, that's why it's so good to just listen, whatever resonates with you, that's your sign, that's your aha. And this girl says, well, if you're still wearing a stone to ground you, and it was like she was talking to me, yeah, I'm wearing the tourmaline to ground me, that means you're giving, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course. So I immediately took it off and I'm like, I'm going to wear you when it matches my outfit. Not because it's grounding me, you see. I'm going to wear you as part of my new avatar, giddy up. Because, of course, as you let go of the matrix, then you realize that you can be anything you want. And if you desire to just wear purple and wigs and, all kinds of wow, just do that. If that's how makes your heart sing, if that's what makes your heart sing, do that, you see. So create your avatar, color it the way you want, put all kinds of adornments on it, but don't put them to impress. Put them because this is the avatar you created for yourself. And you know what, let's get going, sweetheart. And you just, a little bit more makeup here, let's do it. But not because you want to prove something, or you want to hide something, or you want to defend yourself in any way or the other, you see. Yes, David, everyone, we all have our own frequency, and at that frequency we're in alignment, and we feel it within ourselves, and this is how we guide ourselves. That's basically our intuition. But it's a one step forward than, I got this sign. No, it's a physical feeling that we feel in our body when that frequency is activated. So there are people who are living in a higher frequency in exactly the same world as myself. They would not be living in the same world as yourself, because we live in an infinity of versions of ourselves simultaneously. So all of these realities, so if this is the sphere, planet Earth, there's an infinity of them, one on top of the other, one on top of the other. At times you may intersect lives with some of these other Earth realities, planets Earth. Let's think of them as the spheres of the planet Earth. You may intersect with them, but not necessarily be with them, live with them, interact with them at length. They may come in to bring you a message. You may bring them a message. So what happens is we attract who we are, you see. So in other words, the frequency that I am, because today I might be, in a good mood. Maybe I've stopped and given something to the guy, at the corner of the street. Maybe I've, called my mother and told her I love her. Like maybe I called a friend I haven't heard from a long time. Like I've done some things that, I just kind of shared my love, you see. And in that frequency, then you will meet higher frequency beings. But if you later on, somebody cuts you off on the street and you get mad and you start cursing and you pour coffee on yourself and you get mad and you get at work and you get too much work, well, that's it. You now meet other kinds of people. So on any given moment, at every single step of our life, we have a decision to make. Do I stay aligned with divine, or do I come from a place of fear where I believe that somebody's out to get me and somebody wants to attack me? You see? So this is how you do it. My avatar is a vehicle of the true divine within. Love is generating from within throughout. Yes, we will always be looking outside ourselves to heal us. Yes, but it's time to stop now, because we already know that healing doesn't come from outside. Healing comes from within. There's nothing outside of ourselves that can help us. Nobody can heal you. Nobody can help you. You help yourself. All you have to do is to have ears to hear, so you can hear the signals that come to you, and pay attention to the way you feel in your body. And when those messages come, and those messages can be anything, if this is the moment of your life when you have to heal your abandonment trauma, you may end up dating a narcissist. You may end up being a man who's unavailable or a woman who's unavailable. Why? Not because the universe is trying to make your life difficult, is because it has to point out to you what you have to love about yourself. Because if you come into this world with abandonment trauma, you believe that every single person in your life is going to abandon you. But in fact, what you're doing is you're abandoning yourself. So that person who comes in unavailable shows you not that they are unavailable. It shows you that, yes, somebody in your childhood was unavailable to you, your mother or your father, but it also shows you that you don't need anybody's love. And if you meet somebody unavailable, that it means it is you that you're not available to yourself. So this is what happens. Everybody who comes into our life is not our healer, but it is our mirror. So they're showing us what to work on. Thank you for the follow, Pauline. Thank you so much. What is one simple thing to do when you're not aligned, when my frequency feels completely off? That's a very good question. Well, when it's completely off and like you're really off the charts, there's two things that I like to do. The first one is a breath work. It's the box breathing. You inhale 4, you hold 4, you exhale 4, you hold 4. You inhale 4, you do that 3-4 times, you're clear. But then maybe there's something that is a little bit more in your face, and you kind of go, how do I deal with it? Maybe there's a loss, maybe something. You do a ramp up of gratitude, because basically the frequency of gratitude is the frequency of having it all. You can't beat that no matter where you turn it, right? Well, authenticity is the only one that can beat it, but authenticity means you have it all. So you're in a state of gratitude. You embody gratitude. So what you do is you find, wherever you find yourself in that spot, I'm grateful for the phone. I'm grateful for the tea. I'm grateful for the lamp. I'm grateful for the electricity. I'm grateful for my phone stand. I'm grateful for my chair. I'm grateful for my pillow. I'm grateful for my book. I'm grateful for my tape measure. I'm grateful for my pillows. I'm grateful for my little side table. So you ramp up, and you speak gratitude on every single little object that is around you. Absolutely, your clothes on you. I'm grateful for everything, and do them very fast, very fast, very fast, very fast. And as you do them, you feel your energy lift up, and you free yourself of whatever anxiety. And then there's another thing that you can do, actually. It's a third one, which is very, very impactful, that please remember it, because you must do it in many, many situations in life. That's depolarization. Because I'm not going to go into what polarity is and all that stuff. All I'm going to say is that we absolutely everything that we do in our life, there's two sides to every story. There's two sides to every coin. You can't have a coin with just one side. There's always the other side, right? Everything has two sides, light and dark, good and bad, hot and cold, tall and short. Everything has two sides. So let's imagine everything as like a stick with two ends, right? There's one end and there's the other, right? what does depolarization mean? Because whenever you are in your life, if you are in the middle, if you're neutral, that's the frequency, in the neutrality, where you're not attached to anything. That's what neutrality means. I'm not attached to it. I don't put passion in it. I don't put emotion in it. I don't hook it. I don't hook into the matrix. So if I don't put passion in it, that means I'm neutral. But one day I get really sad because maybe I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my job, or whatever that may be, whatever your sadness may be, the terrible place that I think about, that I literally make up because I don't know for sure, because I'm in the present moment and I'm thinking of something that may or may not happen in the future. So I'm making it up, right? But it gives me a really bad state to be in, anxiety and fear and all that stuff. So here I am. How do we get out of it? I don't get out of it by saying, stop being afraid, stop being worried, don't think about it, because if you think about it, it's going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. Don't try to convince yourself that this is not a place to be. Go to the other pole. You want to get in the middle, but you can't get in the middle from here to here. You can get in the middle by going all the way to the other end. So let's say if this is a -7, your frequency is -7, negative, fear, all that stuff. How do you get to 0? You add +7, which means you depolarize by imagining immediately what would be the opposite story of the story you just made up. Oh, not only that I'm getting the job, but I'm getting more money than they are offering. And they're giving me an extra vacation and this and a corner and an office and this and this and that. And now revel in this in a state of gratitude. Like, woohoo! Like, if I could make up this bullshit, why couldn't I make up this absolute wonderful miracle in my life? You go here all the time. So always carry a stick with you. And remember this, you want to be in the middle. But you have to use mathematics to get there. By getting from here to here, from here to here, you go from here to here, which brings you here. So -7 + 7 equals 0. Welcome to the middle pillar, baby. Can you talk about triggers? I just did. I talked a lot about triggers, yin and yang. Yes, absolutely. Let me know if you have a specific one. I always have exactly what I need, exactly when I need it. Absolutely, absolutely. Look at your life. You've never lacked anything. You absolutely never lacked anything. You are here now. You've been looked after. I had the realization today that my serious relationship, all three have been to prison. I had to... Listen to below. We just have to pause and breathe. The answers are within. Absolutely. Can you talk about triggers? Let me know if you have a specific trigger that you wanted me to talk about. Queen of Words. I appreciate it. My mother gave me the most precious gift in her last few days on earth, sharing these truths. Oh, that's so wonderful. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. David, you're still learning. Trust me, buddy, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Everybody, we're still learning, you guys. None of us has done it before. What did you just say? I don't know what I just said. Our fundamental nature is to resonate at our highest frequency. And it's not necessarily highest frequency. It's the frequency. Like, there is a frequency that we have within ourselves. And it is the highest in that element that we can be at. But it's not necessary. I don't know how to say it. Because, see, we have the tendency to say, oh, I'm at a high frequency, I'm at a low frequency. And I'm guilty of it. I do it, I say it all the time. But when we do that, here we still find ourselves in judgment towards it. One is high, one is low. That means I'm better because I'm high. So we want to, and I'm going to do that myself. We want to detach ourselves from even judging that and just say my frequency, the frequency where I resonate, because you and I could be at a fraction of a frequency separate from each other. It doesn't mean that your frequency is higher than mine or whatever, you see. It's the one that is assigned to me. Like, I'm resonated with the specific frequency of my beingness. And basically the frequency of the surrender, of authenticity. Because I surrender to all attachment. I'm not attached to anything in the matrix, which means I don't identify myself with anything in the matrix, which means I can be my authentic self. And that's your frequency of your authentic self. And this is a great indication for anybody who is in a relationship. ask yourself this question. Am I behaving the exact same way when I go outside and party? If I just go outside and party with my best friends, whether my closest friends, just me and my closest friends, do I act the exact same way as when I go out with my partner? I want to hear every single one of you who is altering their person when they go out with their partner. Let me know if it happens to you. It happens to me all the time. It happened to me all the time because I was hiding myself, because I was afraid to be judged on certain things. So every person who ever met me met a different version of myself. Not even I met of who I truly was. So Ellen, I'm a fan of you. You're a fan of Ellen, or you are Ellen show? Ellen show? I don't know. No, I'm not. How do you activate yourself? Sorry, I'm still lost. How do you activate yourself? By letting go what is not yourself. You have to heal your traumas. You have to go through your shadow work. You have to go through your... basically letting go of the illusion of separation. Authenticity is key. Sunteți româncă? Da, Ela, sunt româncă din Suceava. But I've lived in the United States for 30 years. You kidding, sleeping? Yes, I figure you're kidding. I don't have any guests and I'm not in the mood to dance right now. My last partner thought I would change for her benefit. Oh, my ex-husband didn't know that I was going to change him for my benefit. I tried to change him. That's been my pattern all my life. I tried to change everybody. So, hey, you're not alone, David, but I'm so glad that you broke that pattern. Ellen, I'm a fan of you. Okay, good. Ha, ha, ha. Okay. Thank you for the follow, you guys. I appreciate you. I like to say I'm expanding. Yes, I like that. The frequency is just the natural state within. Absolutely. There is actually a buzzing when you feel it. Are you a host of a talk show? Okay, I am the host of my own talk show. Carmen Daly. We are growing together, though a little. That's beautiful. Eu sunt din UK. Are you born in Romania, Ella, or din Constanța? Oh, cool. Beautiful. My father's from Constanța, from Comuna Independența, satul Olteni. I grew up there a lot. When I'm around too many people, I find myself feeling a lot of anxiety. Okay, Joe, here's what you do when you leave your house. Before you leave your house into a group, into in a meeting, in a party or whatever, you literally, before you step outside the door, you literally take your right hand and surround your head like that and just say, I surround myself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. I surround myself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. I surround myself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. And you are protected. So whoever is draining your energy whenever you go and meet a lot of people will not be able to do that anymore. Yeah? I know you share what it is you have found. I feel like I'm learning verbiage to the knowing I feel. Yes, because it's a different language. It's like when you realize different things in your journey, suddenly there's a saying in the Hermetic principles, everything is and isn't at the same time, in the polarity, right? Like we were talking about the negative pole right here, right? It's negative, right? But it's not at the same time. So in other words, we see it this way, but if we were to look from another direction, we would see it in a different way. So everything is and isn't at the same time, right? So basically, as you shift into the new understanding, as you shift into the realization that, oh, the story is what is keeping me stuck into the matrix, this script that has been handed to me is keeping me stuck into the matrix, suddenly you look at it differently, and then your language changes. So then when you talk to people, you have to be, and that's one of the things that I caution you when you get on this path, and when you start having your own major revelations, and most of you have them. Be cautious when you talk to other people, because if they haven't had these revelations, they will not understand your language. So what you have to do is to go back to the language you used to speak and speak the truth in that old language. That's how they will understand you. Because if you start telling them in a language that they don't understand, they're going to think you're arrogant. What is she talking about? She's nuts, you see? You like that, Joe? Hi, Bluey. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I appreciate you all. Negative and positive, cancel it out. Exactly. Ești psiholog sau ce anume? I am not a psychologist. This is the question, if I am a psychologist. I am not a psychologist. I'm a storyteller. I simply tell the story of my own awakening, and there's a lot of people who apparently are interested in listening to it. And I cannot be giddier about that because I love to talk. So that's it. I'm a storyteller. I tell people how I healed myself, Christina. I know you should. Okay. What do you think about the people who said God is spirit of universe? What do you think about the people who said God is spirit of universe? Yes, God is energy, absolutely. What I think about those people, I don't think about people. I know that if they say that God is energy, because that's what spirit is, energy, that means they know something. They know something. I'm Amelia from Jakarta, Indonesia. Hi, Amelia. Thank you for joining me from Jakarta. Chestnut. Hi, Carmen. Good to see you guys. It's amazing how you have a whole lot of knowledge. Yeah, I know. It's amazing to me too. Like, it just hits me every day. Hits me. Lately, it's been like a fire hose. It's been like a fire hose. I'm not complaining. I absolutely love it. But, yep, I'm with you. Greetings from Bali. Oh my goodness. I love it. You guys are reaching out from the most beautiful places on planet Earth. I love it. I see you live now. Master Manifester. Yes, welcome. Tapping is clapping. Sharing is caring. And gifting is uplifting. Show the love however you can. David, you are my hero. You are an angel. Everybody follow each other, please, because that's why we're here, to be one. When you go to Bali, Carmen, we can discuss and meet up. Absolutely. I don't have a plan yet. Right now, my journey takes me back to Romania to look after my mother. I'm going to be there for the duration, and I'm going to have a blast doing it. I cannot wait. How come that God Almighty receives blood of innocent as scar? I don't know. That's the God in the Bible. I don't do the God in the Bible. You take that up with the church, baby. Not with me. When you go Bali, okay. Watching from Ghana. I love it. Oh, God. I cannot wait to visit some of these countries. Hola from Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica. That's when I did my first ayahuasca journey in Arrhythmia. In, God, I can't remember that region. What is it called? It will come to me. I see you live now. Yes. Blessing, ma'am. Thank you so much, Phil. Hello, Caraíbe. Hello, Caraíbe. Can't wait to see you in Ghana. I know, Phil. That would be wonderful. I can't wait. It's a plan, you guys. That I'm just gonna get on and start traveling and see the world. But for now, I'm just gonna look after my mother. But I will be with you, you guys. So you know, you can pick my brain. I don't want to promise anything. I don't promise anything. But just know we're one. That's all that matters. Ugh, I needed your positive energy so much today. I hope you are well. Yes, I am absolutely fantastic, Audrey. What can I send your way that will lighten up your heart? So you're literally saying you don't believe God do exist? Of course it does exist, but not like not the God of the Bible. That's actually a demiurge. That's not the real God. I believe in the one above that one. I don't believe in it. I met it. I know it. I feel it. It's within every one of us. Guanacaste. That's it, Tina Lea. Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And then I stayed in, what is the little town there? I know they call it Tamarindo. They call it Tamagringo. What a lovely little town. I stayed for like a week there. Was it Posada area of CR? Guanacaste, Divine Twos. All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. I'm from Indonesia. I know almost all spiritual people like that, including me. It's right. Are you in spirituality? I have no way of not being in spirituality. We all are. We don't even, there's no way we're not, because we are all spirit. So what I'm not into religion. Like I don't buy into the dogma. I don't buy into I don't buy into the fact that I need an intermediary between me and God. I think that's, to me, that's the clearest thing possible. I don't need anybody to get me in touch with God. Simple. If you need it, keep it. But if you don't need it, just go on your own and find God on your own. God bless you in this morning, Mom. God bless you, sweetheart. I love you. I appreciate you. Yes, I wonder if you are okay with me referring to you as my God sister. Amen to that, my God brother. Absolutely, David. Absolutely. That's what we are. We're God brothers and sisters. We're all one, but I guess it's hard to see it because we look different, but we can still call each other God brothers and God sisters. The separation is the illusion. That's it. That's it. And the illusion is made out of our fear. It's made of our childhood traumas. It's made of our limiting beliefs. That's the illusion. Because the moment we realize who we truly are and that we are one, how can we possibly still live in fear? Because we cannot have two masters. You can't have two masters. You either believe you are who you say you are, or you are afraid. The two don't go together. It's really mathematics. This whole existence is mathematics. I'm not in religion too. I'm already awakened. Wonderful. Hallelujah. I love it. Money, religion, politics, fake science, and new age, all part of the matrix, divide and conquer. Absolutely. But, okay, let's do it this way. What if they're not? What if they're not necessarily to divide and conquer? Hear me out. Hear me out. I had the exact same beliefs as you did just until recent. But what if? Because you see, many years ago, they've done a study at Google, and they interviewed all the guys who were successful at their work. And let me tell you something. 90% of them, or don't quote me on the number, but a very high percentage of them, they became who they were that day because they went through a very painful event of their lives. So what happens is they've studied, psychologists put together studies, and it came up that there are only two motivators in life. We change as human beings for pain or for pleasure, with the balance weighing heavily in favor of pain. In other words, more people suffered pain and they transmuted it into light than, kept some kind of a pleasure as a target for their lives, and that motivated them to change. Pain will motivate you stronger than pleasure will motivate you, you see? So as you go through your moments of darkness, that is your awakening, because you get to transmute that darkness. So instead of thinking at the matrix as an evil aspect of our existence, we look at it as, wait a minute, the matrix was created so that I, divine God, I, before the I am that, right, the source, I get to express myself in a human body and have emotions and feelings and have fun and good time and all that stuff. Without the matrix, we cannot express ourselves. There's no way we can actually experience life in human form without the matrix. So what if this programming all includes elements in its algorithm that are meant to hit us in the head with a 2x4, and sometimes again and again and again until we go, wait a minute. The common denominator in all my failed relationships is me. I have to change. And when you get down, rock bottom, when you hit rock bottom, you have nowhere else to go but up. But there's no way you're going to see the light without the darkness. No way. So what if the matrix's purpose right now on this journey is to guide us to our darkest place, to guide us to our shadow, so then we can embrace it and we can let it go with grace? What if that's really the truth? Because we beat up the matrix constantly, including myself. But it's a shift in perspective. And I like it better. I like it a lot better. Why should I live my life thinking that there's something out there is trying to get me? That means I'm still in victim mode, you see. Did I fall victim to the programming? Absolutely. I didn't have a choice because I didn't think anything, because I was told that that's the right thing to do. But then I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, I don't subscribe anymore. And I just unsubscribed from the matrix. And then I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go back in. Let's see how I'm going to go back in. What do I choose out of it? I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get that. If it doesn't resonate, it's not for me. If it's not easy, it's not for me. This is my motto right now. If it's not easy, it's not for me. Write that down, because some of you will actually use it. If it's not easy, it's not for me. We are related by heart. That's right, David. Absolutely. I have all day panic attacks. Shift polarity. Shift polarity. I will post this video on YouTube, you guys, because I feel like I dropped some gems here, and especially that polarity part. I mean, I've said it to many people many times, but I feel like I think I delivered it a little better this time, and I think it's going to make sense to a lot of people. Cold case journalists observe, don't absorb the energy. Yes, absolutely. Are you a cold case journalist, Bluey? That would be such a cool job. I love it. I always wanted to be a spy, a ballerina, an actress, a spy. Hey, by the end of this live, maybe I'll figure out a few more little tricks up my childhood sleeve. I love the topic. God, that's the only thing I ever talk about. I have the number is 1. Okay, well, maybe that past martyrdom wasn't totally bad and boosted my awakening. Okay, so driving tunes. Let me tell you something. Probably the beginning of my awakening started in 2017. After I got sick with hypothyroidism, I healed myself, I might add, without medication. And I ended up guided. It was all guidance. I ended up going to a Tony Robbins event in West Palm Beach. It was his original event, the Unleash the Power Within. And I'm going to tell you something. Not only that, the first night, which happened to be my birthday at that time, back in 2017, 8 years ago, November 10, on November 9, as the clock turned midnight into November 10, I walked on hot coals, like burning coals. And if you want to know how it looks like, you can actually find a video on YouTube if you Google Oprah Tony Robbins hot coals or something, and you're going to see Oprah walking on hot coals, on a pretty long stretch of coals. And I did that. But the reason why I tell you that is because during that first day on that event, Tony Robbins, who's a master at mind programming, he basically programmed us the entire day on how, without telling us where we're going to go. Like I had no idea we were going to walk on hot coals that night. But an entire day we were programmed on how to overcome limiting beliefs. And then bang, we do the hot call, and I just walked right in without getting burned. Some people got burned because they doubted, you see. So, but here's what else Tony Robbins taught us. Every single thing that happens in our life, whether my mother did it, or her father did it, or husband did it, or somebody did it to me, you see. We blame everybody for everything that ever happened in our life. But if they wouldn't have done what they did, if they wouldn't have acted in a certain way, we would not be who we are today. We would not be the awakened being that we are today. We would not realize that, well, maybe there's more to life than what I thought, right? So before we finish blaming everybody for the bad, let's stop for a minute and blame them for the good, and thank them for awakening us up, for opening our eyes to the truth of who we are. So there you go, divine tunes. How do you heal yourself physically or make any physical changes? This seemed the most hard for me. Well, first of all, if you think it's hard, it is hard. So it's your thinking. You have to change your thinking. So first, you have to believe that you can heal yourself. What I'm going to tell you is this. For example, Jesus Christ was a healer. They considered him a healer, but he wasn't a healer in the sense that he went in, touched somebody, and with his hands healed it. No, he was a quantum healer. In other words, he understood that we all exist in an infinity of realities simultaneously. So what he did, first thing he did is to ask that other person, the person who needed healing, if they believe in their own healing. Like I'm asking you right now, do you believe in your own healing? And if that person said no, Jesus wouldn't have anything to do with them, would walk away. But if that person said yes, now you had two energies of healing together. When two get together in my name, there I am. In other words, Jesus matched the frequency of the wish fulfilled for that person. And that person's wish was to be healed in a reality, in the quantum field. Out of the infinity of realities that exist in the quantum field, one of them, at least one of them, but we're going to focus just on one, is where that person is already healed. And Jesus focused on that reality, saw that person in that reality, felt that person in that reality. And together, vibrating at that same frequency, they simply shifted timelines and the person was healed. And that's how you can heal yourself. And you can use a healer to help you with that too, because you do, until you strengthen your own power of creation or co-creation, you need to have somebody else who thinks like you so you can vibrate at the same time. Why place the tree of both life and knowledge on earth for Adam and Eve to eat from? Where the tree of knowledge of the good and evil was placed only so that we can experience duality, because without duality, matrix does not exist. Without duality, we don't express ourselves in physical form. In other words, the I, the source that exists within each one of us, came to express itself in physical form. But without duality, it can't, because without the light, without the darkness, there's no light. You see, without bad, there's no good, and so on and so forth. The pleroma is where all of it is oneness, where there is no judgment anymore, you see. And both trees were placed on earth because that's what we have to eat from. First, we eat from the tree of knowledge of the good and evil. That means we judge. That means we are humans. This is God becoming man so that man can become God. So we eat the apple and become man. We fall into judgment. We fall into sin. We fall into a vibration that is opposite of the resonance of the divine presence. That's what happens. But then the tree of life teaches us how to bring ourselves back up. In the tree of life, you have the Sephiroths, the 10 Sephiroths, right? The top one is Keter. This is your highest consciousness. The bottom one is Malkut. This is where you fell when you ate the tree, in Malkut. Your awakened state is Malkut. But from your awakened state to your enlightened state, you have to go up the tree of life, and you go in a lightning bolt shape. And when you go on this tree of life, you go through each and every one of these sephirats, which each represents an aspect of who you are, an attribute of yourself. And that's when you learn to let go of all your fears, all your limiting beliefs, all your childhood traumas, which together form the illusion of separation from divine and from each other. And then you break through into Keter, and you break through into Christ consciousness. So that's why you have them all, because this is part of the program. And that's what I said. The program is not to hurt you, but to enlighten you. It is up to you if you get stuck in one of the programs. Like you have all kinds of people who are stuck in, numerology, in gematria, in, all kinds of Anunnaki. And like everybody's this kind of codes and those kind of codes. And if they help you raise your consciousness, if they help you expand rather than contract, if they keep you moving instead of getting you stuck in an organization, in another movement, in another conference, in another this, in another that, you're a follower, you can't stay on your path because you keep on getting attached on things of the matrix. The matrix helps you, but don't get stuck in it. You have to keep on going, use them as tools. Azerbaijan, wow! Is Erevan the capital of Azerbaijan? I believe I might be right on that. And if that's the case, I have been to Erevan when I was a kid. I want to say I was 9 years old. I went to visit my father in Iran. We were coming from Romania, and my father worked in Iran at the time. And we crossed from Moscow, I believe, to Tehran. We crossed it in a train that, I want to say it was a whole week, but maybe because I was a kid and I didn't realize how, but it was long. And I know we passed through Erevan. So thank you for such a beautiful memory. Do you have any idea of the first existing God before Yahweh? There's no first, like there's the God, the I, the source, the I that is infinite potential. When the I becomes aware of itself, it becomes the I am. And that's when the I am enters into each and every one of us, and we become the awareness of the I am. I am that. I am Carmen. I am a broker. I am a writer. I am a storyteller. I am this. I am this. I am that. You see? As we eliminate the M, the attachment to the physical world, the that, which is the attachment, and then we eliminate the M, the awareness of our presence, of our multiverse existence, we remain with nothing but the I, which is the source, which lights through us, in us, around us, and in everybody else. So that is the monad, let's call it. That is the awareness of the pleroma. Do you have, we are here for a purpose, or are we entrapped until we realize we're never? So we don't have a purpose in the sense that we have to, do something special and all that stuff. The one and only purpose for each and every one of us is to awaken to the truth of who we are and be in resonance with the divine. That's it. That's all we have to do. See, the problem is that people are being programmed to believe that we have a purpose, but the purpose tells us to look outward, because we look for our purpose outside of ourselves. when in fact our purpose is inward. Our purpose is for us to awaken and to be divine, to be, just be who we are naturally, the joy that we are, our natural state of mind, you see. But we keep on chasing things like my purpose, my purpose, my purpose is out there. It's not. The purpose is right here. Our only purpose is to remember. Yes, thank you, Bluey. Appreciate it. How did we get here, and do we need to evolve? How do we get... Do demons really exist, or it's an illusion? Okay, I'll answer this one because it's easier. Demons, archons, angels, archangels, alien beings, gods, goddesses, mythological figures, every single one of these are figments of our imagination, are happening only between our 2 ears. But the archons, which are represented by the Gnostics as the archons, but some people interpret them as demons, they're nothing but our shadow, you guys. They're our shadow. What is our shadow? It's everything we hide, our fears, things that we don't go and tell everyone. I'm afraid of this. I'm jealous. I'm envious. I'm angry. I'm doubting myself. I hate you because of this. I'm all of that. That's our demons. Those are our demons that we have to one day face them face to face, look at them, ask them questions, find out why they're there. How did they end up here? What do they need to let them go? Love them and leave them. And that's it. That's the journey right there. That's the journey. So grateful for your answer, Z. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts, you guys. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you. Okay, how do we get here, and do we need to evolve? I don't know what the question mean. How did we get here? In other words, in the mess we're in right now is because there's different kinds of people on this planet, and some people think that they can, they're entitled to the power, and they offer you all kinds of situation in which you can say, oh, okay, I'll take it, or you can say, no, I'm not going to take it. But humanity has been accepting for such a long time. It kind of became like a Stockholm syndrome, let's call it, where we just kind of got used to our warden, let's say, and we just kind of go, we'll just let them do whatever they need to do and all that. All we have to do is to unsubscribe to their story. That's it. Do we need to evolve? We already are as evolved as we can possibly be. We don't need to evolve. We need to forget. We need to forget everything we have ever learned from anybody else. I'm not talking about mathematics and physics and whatever your fixed sciences are that you learned and you use them. Thank goodness that we have them, because they're beautiful. I'm talking about the things that, your mother told you. You should do this. You should be that. I can't do that because they're going to do all the stuff that somebody else told you. All the rules of the road. All the, you forget all that. All the dogma that is being programmed in your mind. How to eat, how to sleep, how to drive, how to dress, all of it is programming. Do your own thing. The moment you do that, you free yourself from the bound of the matrix. You guys, I'm going to the bottom, so if you have questions that I missed, please put them back. Why does it feel the shadows that are attached to family are harder to conquer, to look at? Because your family is the closest, it brings you the strongest trauma. Whatever your main, there are certain pain and sufferings that we go through in life. But there's usually one of them that is the hardest one, the one that is the hardest to break, but that's going to be your catalyst for the highest height you're going to reach, you see. So those traumas usually come from the closest people in our lives, because they know us better. They know our buttons. They know how to annoy us. They know, and plus, what happens is between the age of 0 to age of 7, our brain is in the frequency of theta, and that is the hypnotic state, which is the state in which we are being programmed. So we're programmed automatically. You see how kids are just sponges, they'll take everything. Well, we're programmed, and we don't even realize that we're programmed. They don't know they program us, and we don't realize we're programmed. So, but they are the biggest programmers, because they are the ones we spend the most time with. Hey Tranhan, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Anything that says you should or shouldn't, it's causing division and fear. Yes, that's it, Bluey. I love that. Exactly. The reason I was asking is because some awakened mentors say that we are trapped and should not go into the, I see what you tell, into the light tunnel. Yes, absolutely, you should not go into the light tunnel, because that's the tunnel of the matrix, you see. But we can get untrapped because we're trapped in this cycle, the cycle of the story, and even the stories that we're being told about, you have NDEs and all that stuff, it's still the story, because it's coming from outside. Whatever comes from outside of you is the matrix, you see. It's the ego. So everything that happens, we bring in and we take it for granted, and we go, oh, okay, this is what it is, this is how it is, and all that stuff. But we don't stay the course to continue to awaken our soul to the highest frequency. You see, we remain in whatever we were presented to. Like, I'll give you an example. I had this encounter with Arcturians back in 2020. In 2024, I actually wrote a book about it, where I share the story and how I met the Arcturians, the Council of Elders, the Arcturian healers. They taught me a practice of healing my own childhood traumas. Now, I actually channel the Arcturian Council of Elders, you see. But I didn't get stuck on that. So I thought this is a wonderful tool for me to have. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to tap into this energy of healers, because that's what the Arcturians are. You see, so I can associate myself with it, but I'm not going to attach myself to it. So I'm not going to become I don't want to, I'm not going to see myself in podcasts sitting there channeling with my eyes closed. Oh, so this is what they're saying. No, that's not what that's not me. I don't identify with that frequency, because I don't want to get stuck on a rung of a ladder. You see, I want to keep on going up. So going up means I love it, I appreciate it, I learned as much as I could from it. Now I'm moving on. What's next? And that's the journey. The journey is the destination. There is no destination. The journey itself, it's so blissful at every corner that you can just coast and let it happen. So when you actually get to this place where you don't have to be stuck into the story, whenever this physical body dies, you don't reincarnate, because there is no tunnel left. There is no matrix left for you. It's a choice. If you want to come back, you can, to have some fun and maybe I'll help others. That's what Jesus did. That's what Count Saint Germain did. That's what a lot of the ancient gurus did. If we unsubscribe from it all, it will lead us to stillness. Thus, we will start to remember. Yes, as you do it, it will all start unfolding for you. As you do it, it will start unfolding for you. And I actually have an expression that I like to use for this kind of situation. Whenever you make one step towards God, God makes 10 steps towards you. So that means the mere decision that you're going to be unfolding certain things in your life and unsubscribing from certain things in your life will unlock an avalanche of miracles and of synchronicities in your life. So Be prepared for wonders to happen once you surrender to the authenticity of your avatar. I like to call the unconscious one version of me the character, and the conscious version of me the avatar, because it sounds so much better. So I'm just building up my avatar the way I want it, and I'm going to make it stylish or not, whatever that is, but I'm just going to give her the freedom to just play, and that's it. That's the name of the game. Follow your bliss. What do you think about the Dolores who preach about the so-called New Age spirituality? I don't judge anything from this. Like, look, everybody's on a different level on their journey. We're all seekers after all. That's basically why they're there. They're not there because they want to, just rule the world and control and all that stuff. But they're there because they're seekers. Now, when it comes to Dolores, let me tell you something. I actually got myself licensed in her practice. So I am a QHHT practitioner. I've done several, quote, past life regressions that prove to me very clear there's no such thing as past lives. They're all happening in simultaneously right here, right now. So why is Dolores? Because I know she knows. She knew. She's passed away. I don't know why she did that. Could she be part of the matrix? Could she be part of the simulation? Yes. Did I learn a lot from her? Yes. Did I get myself licensed in QHHT that helped me see through the veil? Yes. So was it a tool of the matrix that I used to advance my own consciousness? Yes. Do I want to call her a hoax? No, because she played her role perfectly to bring me where I am today. Remember, whenever you are willing to blame someone for the bad, always blame them for the good too. So just being in non-judgment means to look at everything as if is perfect, exactly the way it is, and that person is playing a role just like you, and they are doing a darn good thing at it, and that's all there's to it. I hope I answered your question. So is it correct to say that there is no perfect path? Every path is path. It's up to us. It's not up to us. It's not up to us. Every path is unique. And you're perfect right where you are. So in every moment of your every day of your existence, you're perfect exactly where you are. So there's absolutely no judgment for that. And this is where you come in with not judging where you are, because maybe you're not in the most perfect place from every standpoint of your life, but by not judging it, you tell the universe, I'm perfect right where I'm at. In other words, I trust you where you're taking me. And when I say that every path is up to us, there's only one choice that we have. That's it. That's it. To always come from a place of love. You have two choices, fear and love. And your one and only choice is to pick love. Pick love. Always pick love. And when you do that, you're in alignment with your divine path. But as you continue to do that and maintain your frequency at that frequency of love, synchronicities will start happening, and you will be pushed. You will be pushed on the path, on the divine path, until you will reach a moment of your life when you are not going to look for anything anymore ever. And whenever opportunities will come up, they will sound like a no-brainer. This is the secret. Whatever sounds like a no-brainer, that is your divine path. If it doesn't sound like a no-brainer, if there's things if it's complicated, it's not for you. If it's not, my saying is, if it's not easy, it's not for me. And I stand by it, and I've done it many times just in the past few months. If it's not easy, it's not for me. And I'm talking about major decisions. How come when Lucifer rebels against God, Jesus didn't interfere? I don't really have a answer to this question. I think it's a little too dogmatic for my interpretation of the whole let's say, perspective of the Bible, because I don't just look at the Bible as a story that I'm supposed to believe. I look at it more of an allegorical interpretation of our own inner journey, our own awakening, our own going through the darkness, our own basically living, the land of bondage and finding ourselves and awakening and going up the ladder like Jacob did, and seeing God face to face, and seeing the truth with, having our third eye open when thy eye be single. So really, I look at it from an interpretation of how it matches my own spiritual journey, my own awakening journey. So I'll be honest with you, I don't really, it's too much drama going on. It's too much interpretation that it's not justified, and there's no clear explanation from it's. And to me, it's intentionally made to confuse you when actually the truth is so simple, so simple. And that's, again, you're getting stuck on a rung of a ladder by focus. Why did that guy did this, and why did they did that? Why would it matter? Do we know that for sure? How do we break the illusion of separation? We heal ourselves. We heal ourselves from all our fears, our limiting beliefs, our childhood traumas, and we detach from the illusion of the matrix, which means we unsubscribe for the story that was fed to us. Your thoughts on tethered souls, mother to child. Tethered souls, mother to child. Oh, this is a very deep one, actually, because everything the trauma goes from one into the other. And so this is where the mother comes in. I mean, one of the two. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the mother. It can be the child to go through the healing. Then it actually heals the entire ancestral trauma. I just had my girlfriend who's going through this right now, and it's just so beautiful to watch. Follow your joy always. The art of Zenning. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh no, Z, you can ask as many questions as you want. In fact, the pleasure is mine. I love to talk, so you catch me at the right time. Ask me questions. Okay, let me see. What do we have here for questions? Okay. So, yes. Yeah. Beautifully painful. That's right. You are a teacher. No, Gift Lab. I'm a storyteller. I tell the story of my own awakening, and apparently there's people who like to hear it. So the pleasure is mine. I appreciate you guys so much. So if you guys, you did follow, thank you. Thank you, Chongwu. Appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, guys. Can you explain the ego death? Okay, so the ego death is actually misconception, or it's a lie. Because number one, we can't kill the ego. That's impossible. Ego means our physical identity. We can't kill it, because if we kill the ego, we don't exist anymore, because the body is part of the ego. So we're never going to be able to kill the ego, ever. So there cannot be more misleading guidance than to kill the ego. Now, if they said it in a metaphorical way, maybe I could totally get behind that. And what does it mean to kill the ego? It's to let go of detach from the story that was fed to us, the story of the matrix, the story that we're supposed to do this and that and that and that, whatever our life looks like. If you were to be born in a family where nobody ever told you no, and you were allowed to do whatever your heart desired, whatever made your heart tick, would you choose? And there was no, like, you couldn't, you had a wand, you had a you had a magic wand, and you can do anything you ever wanted in your life. Like there was no limits to your evolution. Would you choose the life you have right now? Would you choose to, have that job? Would you choose to have that career? Would you choose to? No, you would not. You would not. I promise you, you would not. You would do something that will make your heart sing. You would paint, you would sing, you would dance, you would fish, you would swim, you would whatever. You would do something. You would travel. You would, I don't know. You would do mathematics. You would do physics. You would, I don't know. You would do a lot of other things more beautiful and more interesting and more exciting than what you're doing today. That is what we have to let go of. The idea that the story that we were fed, that we're supposed to live our lives in a certain way, we have to let go of that. And with the identities connected to that. I'm supposed to be driving this kind of car so I can be looked at in a better way. I'm supposed to do this. This is the identity that I built for myself. The character, the character that I built for myself in this 3D world. Why did I build it? To impress someone, so they can love me, so they can appreciate him, so they can promote me, so they can this, so they can that. So whenever we attach ourselves materially for the world, that's when the ego runs the show. That's when we are away from our divinity, because we are stuck in the matrix. You see? So the ego death is the surrender to the divinity, is the unsubscription of the matrix, but not the killing of it. In other words, disidentify yourself with thinking that, I'm special, I'm so much better than others, I am this, I am that, I am meant for greatness, I have a purpose, I have this, I have that. The moment you detach yourself from all that stuff, you see, that's when your ego, the way you knew it, is dissolved. And now you get... So the character dies and the avatar is born. And the avatar gets, because the avatar knows who it is. I am the divine presence. I am God. I am the I of the I am. Right? So when I know that I am that, I can create my avatar. And I can live in joy because I have nothing to prove, nothing to defend, nothing to hide, nothing to protect. You see, I have no attachments to the 3D. I can do whatever I want. I hope I answered the question. It's our ego communicating with you. Our ego communicating with you. You mean your ego communicating with me? I don't know if your ego might not be communicating with me. Your ego communicates with you. Your higher consciousness is my higher consciousness. In other words, we have a common consciousness. Reframing the inner dialogue to change the pattern and belief system within us. Absolutely. Exactly. And that, by the way, Leonora, let me get my, okay, I gotta get my lip thing. That's one of my favorite things right now, lately, and major discovery that I made in my life recently, a few months ago. I mean, I made it about 7-8 months ago, but it took me a while to integrate it, because it's probably one of the hardest things to control, is the inner monologue. And correct me if I'm wrong, almost every single one of us, we have a really twisted inner monologue. In other words, we judge ourselves and we doubt ourselves and we beat ourselves up, and nobody knows, but we do it. We don't realize we're doing it. And that's the part that if we do that, to me, I think that was one of the most liberating moments, when I finally realized that, you know what? I love myself exactly the way I am, and there's no need for me to shame myself, to guilt myself, or to, put myself in a state of fear or limitation to myself. Because I've done it so many times. This is what we have to stop doing, to allow ourselves to love ourselves, to have compassion for ourselves. When we feel like, I don't want to do anything, I don't feel like even getting out of bed all day today. Okay, honey, you do whatever you want to do. Instead of saying, okay, maybe you should just do something today because, you haven't done anything today. Like maybe, no, No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna do exactly what my heart desires in this very moment. In Romania, we have a saying, I do exactly what my muscle wants. I fac ce vrea mușchiul meu. Fac being to do, even though it sounds like something different. Gratitude for sharing with the collective. Thank you, Laurie. You spoke about the matrix and guides and angels. Are other beings in the universe not real? Then all of them. None of them are real. None of them are real. Nobody. My Arcturians right here. They're a figment of my own inner matrix. I lived it. They're meant, but that doesn't mean that they are evil. That doesn't mean that they are here to hurt you, to control you, to manipulate you. No, they come as guides. They come as tools in the matrix. You take the information and you keep on going. I would love to send it to you, but I'm leaving town. You can find it on Amazon, Mr. Enthusiastic. What if you have people that depend on you? So I have my mother who depends on me right now. I have my mother's 3 dogs who depend on me right now. I have some properties that I have to look after. I detach myself from the idea that I am responsible. Now hear me out, because I'm being very careful how I speak so you understand clearly. In other words, I'm there to be, to hold space for what is needed when it is needed. I don't imagine anything happening. So in other words, even though they depend on me, I'm not imagining, oh, what if something happens? Because I have no control over that. The only thing I have control of is me being present whenever I am needed. And because of that, I shift everything that happens in my life. There's absolutely nothing unpleasant. There's absolutely nothing that is in misalignment, because I don't judge the place I'm in. So I don't look at the fact that these entities depend on me. I don't look at it as an obligation for me to just let myself go and put myself second because I have to look after my mother and her dogs. No, I will always be there and I will always put them first. In other words, as far as looking after them, and they need it, to have everything they need, and shelter, food, everything, love, attention, joy. We play so we can play together. All that is needed for someone's evolution, whether they are a dog that is aging or a mother who is aging. So I'm there for them. But what happens is I'm not attached to the outcome. If my mother has an extra 10 years, I will be thrilled. If my mother has 2 years, I will be thrilled. If my mother has 2 weeks, I will be thrilled, because I got out of the way. I got out of the way of, I stopped being that character who wanted everything to happen in a certain way, who was attached to the outcome. I let it all ride, because all I can do is to be present. That's all. Anything else is a gift from God, no matter how it looks from the outside. What should I do to use my gift? I'm a dreamer, like prophetic dream that coming true in real life. Just follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Antonique, thank you. Wow, look at the fireworks. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Um, what should you do to use your gift? Follow your bliss. That means you don't have to try and use your gift. No. Do the things that bring you joy. I told you. Whether it's cooking, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's gardening, whether it's painting, coloring books, whatever you love to do, whatever brings that child heart out of you, whatever makes you sing, right? Do that. Because in that frequency, why are you doing that? Because you go, why? Because that's not really the gift. Okay, I get it. But you bring yourself into the frequency of your authenticity. Because in your authenticity, you are actually bringing your gift. But you have to first bring yourself into the authenticity, and then your gift will appear. Yes? And then synchronicities will bring to you every single alignment that you need in order for you to be able to manifest your talent. You have an ebook. Yeah, actually on Amazon, my book is on Kindle, so I think you can get it on Kindle too. And also, by the way, for the people who want to read my book but they can't order it because maybe Amazon doesn't work where you are, I already started posting. I'm reading it. I have been reading it. I think I have 2 more episodes to put up, a few more chapters to put up. I've been reading it on a live, and I've been posting it on YouTube. So you can start watching it on YouTube. Listen to it on YouTube for free. That's it. Somebody said they are collective archetypes. Exactly. That's what they are. They are collective archetypes that activate something within us that is taking us home. Wanted to extend my deepest gratitude for your beautiful quantum poetry. Thank you, Lucy. I love quantum poetry. Oh, I am a poet at heart. I discovered I have a box that pretty much everything of papers of value that you can't scan and stuff. I have them in that box, and I discovered some poems that I wrote when I was a young girl. I was a poet, you guys. I was writing poetry. I love poetry. When I was a kid, I thought I was bad, and my adult knows I wasn't, but still I can't. Well, if you as an adult knows you are not bad, what you have to do is to go back into your childhood and tell your inner child. You have to get in touch with your inner child and you convince your inner child, remove the belief that they thought they were bad and replace it with a thought that they are good. If you read my book, Arcturian Healing, I'm going to show it to you again. Shameless plug. It's my life. I can do whatever I want. So in this book, you are being taught a healing practice that helped me heal all my past trauma, all my childhood traumas, all my fears, all my limiting beliefs. It's a very simple practice that you do on your own. You don't need somebody else to help you with it. You can do it all by yourself. So that's how you can actually go back into your childhood, into you don't even have to revisit the event. The event when you can remember that, because the reason why you think you're bad is because there's a belief in your mind from somewhere, and it does come from your caregivers, from your parents, even though they may not remember it, but somewhere they said something that got stuck in your head, and your subconscious said, oh, I'm bad. And then you go with that belief all your life, you see. And all you have to do is to do a little protocol, a little ritual, a little healing modality with yourself, and you can remove that belief, and that's it. You're free. What is the meaning of my dream? Why always coming true? Well, usually when you dream, you're actually visiting other realities in which you exist. And the reason why you visit those is because every time you visit a reality, you bring with you in this reality a lesson. And that lesson helps your awakening right here, right now. That's why you're dreaming. How to learn English? Well, I don't know. I think there's so many modalities. Maybe there's apps you can use. To me, I would say the easiest way that I can think of maybe is just to clearly, you know some English, Just listen to audios, listen to inspiring audios, videos on YouTube. Because here's what happens. First of all, even if you don't understand 100%, they will still go into your subconscious mind. Even if it's in a different language, your subconscious understands every language. So just listen to them, and whenever there's a word you don't understand, stop, go to the little dictionary. Well, you don't need the dictionary. You just get your phone, go, what's this word? Or put captions in your own language. But don't read the caption. Don't read the caption. Just listen to the English language. And then if you don't understand a word, then read the caption. So that's probably the best way to do it. I wouldn't waste my time sitting in a class learning something. I would say do it by listening to inspiring videos. Bahamas. Beautiful. I've been to Bahamas. Why do you do this? Why do I do this? I love to talk, honey. If you would only know how much I love to talk. Thank you so much, Carmen. This was lovely. Have a great night. Thank you, Bluey. I appreciate you being here. Musica as well. Exactly. Why do you do this? You know what? There's a time in your life when you've done so much for yourself, where you filled your buckets. Not your cup, but your bucket. You filled your bucket with love. And it's spilling over. It's just literally spilling over. So that's why. What happens when we die? Nothing. Well, in other words, our soul doesn't die. It's just our body that dies. Extremely wise eyes. I opened them. We all have them. I've dreamed that I speak different language, so I believe what you say. We jump into different realities. Exactly. Yep. I mean, there's people who go in a trance and they fully speak different language that they never heard of, let alone spoken, and because she loves you. Yes, UFO, because I love you guys. But I don't do it for you. I do it for me. Because I love doing what I'm doing. And because I love doing what I'm doing, I show up as my true self, and you guys can see it, and then you can go and show up as your true selves. That's it. That's the secret. Deeper the connection with the stars beings. Call on them. Call on them. Don't just call on them. Hey, come. I want to meet you. No. Come up with a list. Come up with a list of questions. You see? You ask them questions. You write the questions down. And then go in your meditations. Stillness is what's going to bring them to you. Plant medicine journeys, if you're into that kind of stuff. So that will bring it to you too. How many languages do I speak? I speak Romanian. I speak English fluently. I speak French fluently. And I speak Italian and Spanish conversational. Can you give me a reading of my past lives? No, because I don't do any readings. How many languages? Okay. I just don't do readings. I actually don't do anything. All I do is to tell stories. Wow, mama, wow. UFO. Everybody follow each other. Follow UFO. He's an absolutely amazing young kid who is absolutely awakened, and you would absolutely love him. I would have him in, but I'm already pooped and I'm ready to go to bed soon. And I know that if I bring him, it's going to be a long one. So we're going to have to not do it tonight. I love you, UFO. I know you want to come in. Can you give me a reading? So before you go, okay, let's see. Anybody else has any more questions? He's laughing. You can be friends with other beings. I can be friends with everybody. I am friends with everybody. No reason not to. Muchísimas gracias. Yes, I know you can. Okay. Comment ça va? Ça va très bien. Merci, Safa. Et toi? Vous venez d'où? It's true. I love you. I love you too. Oh, the Nomad Mind is right on my alley, baby. 5 grams in pure stillness, in the darkness. No music, no nothing. You know it. You know it. I wonder if you are a Terence McKenna student. How to move on from the people we love so much. We love ourselves more. You got it, nomad mind? You're on? Oh, I love it. I will tell you guys, I have to be very careful what I say, but this I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Please forgive me if these words offend you. I look at you as just as a term of endearment, endearing. I call you girl or boy, but this person right here, Nomad Mind, they know what they're talking about. Oh goodness. Je vais bien, merci. I'm Senegalese, residing in Malaysia. How to beat the fear when hiking alone. Oh, beloved, yes, you have to literally surround yourself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. I actually said it a little bit ago, but you weren't here. So before you leave your house, no matter where you go, you simply put your hand right outside. Before you step outside your front door, you put your hand above your head like that, and you surround your head with your hand like that, and you say, I surround myself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. I surround myself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. I surround myself with a sphere of love, light, and healing energy. And then you're safe, because you surround yourself with a sphere of divine protection, because the protection is within you. You just basically bring it around you, and now nobody can see you. I actually used to do this during the pandemic, you guys. I swear to God, true story. Before I would walk outside, I would surround myself, and I would also say myself, this is a cloak of invisibility. This is a cloak of invisibility. What I meant by that is when I go out into the public without a mask, which that's how I always traveled during pandemic, nobody saw me. I probably, on the entire year and a half or 2 years that everybody walked around with masks on and during the pandemic, I probably was stopped one time. And only because I was with somebody who was fearful. And the rest of the time, I walked like a duck on water without being touched. So surround yourself with a cloak of invisibility. Whenever you feel like, I'm going into a place that, I'm not sure about the energy. Let's just do that. And do it all the time. Learn to do it all the time. Why not create meetings from time to time to speak more freely? Meetings? You mean you and I, or in general? I mean, here's my theory. Lori D, you got it. All right. Okay, right now. All right, sister. I love it. I love it, you guys. Did I answer your question, Safa? With all of us. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because I'll tell you why, UFO. Because I refuse to make any commitments. Because now everybody can do whatever they want. But as far as I'm concerned, I like to go with the flow. I like to be guided. So if I don't feel like going on a live, I'm not going to go on a live. If I don't feel like recording a video, I'm not going to force myself to do anything, because that's what I've done all my life. So now all I do is I just show up when my heart says, hey, let's do a video, let's do a live, let's do this. And that's it. And it's so much easier. I don't have reasons to do it. I don't do it for the followers. I don't do it for the accolades. I don't do it because I have to prove something. I just love to talk. And since my life story is the most, the things that I focus the most in this moment of my life, that's what I talk about. I talk about, I don't know if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, but that's what he used to say back in the day. Document, don't create. I'm documenting my awakening journey, and I share it with you guys, and I pinch myself. There you go, actually are listening to me. I'm like, seriously? There's people who are giving their precious times to listen to my life story. I'm giddy about it. So I'm so grateful you guys are here. So that's it. But the commitment, I'm not going to make it. Just know that I love you, I adore you, and I'm going to make a confession. I love you guys so much, and I'm so thrilled to see your discoveries and your own personal awakenings, that every single time, like when I go in a trance and I have these downloads, instead of simply just enjoying, surrendering to the whatever is coming, I'm always surrendered anyways, but I get the, how the downloads come. It's like a story that is unraveling. It's unraveling. I stop the story and I go, okay, now let's come up with a way of interpreting it in a way that I can make it into a video and share it with my children. I mean, instead of me focusing on my inner journey, like to get the full, effect of it, I want to share it with you guys. It's like this. It's like I'm meant to do this in life, So yeah, there you go. I'm just only learning surrender. Yes, learning surrender. The first time I heard the word surrender was back in 2019 when a very, very good friend of mine who gave me a reading, and she said, surrender is the word, surrender. And I was like, but what does it mean? Hey, it took me a while to get there, but slowly, you're getting there. Just trust the process. Trust that you are guided, you guys. Every single moment of the day, we're guided constantly. We're so unconscious to it, but we're constantly guided. I'm in love with too. Yes. That's the love that I want to expand. Yes. You're very good. Thank you. I love this. I adore this. I think you're wonderful. Thank you, Victoria. You are wonderful. Your videos are such beautiful divine timing for me. Oh, Lori, I'm so happy to hear. We're all walking each other home, you guys. One by one, hand in hand. That's flow and alignment. Yep. Thank you, Kevin, for following. I appreciate it. Agustinus, hello, darling. I find that I've tried so much, but I still feel that there is energy that feel not good. Don't be in judgment of your energy. Lori, thank you so much. Thank you for the heart. Victoria, one of the things, remember what I said earlier about the inner monologue, yes? Right now, that is you judging yourself. That is you doubting yourself. That is you beating yourself up. That's what I mean. Learn to accept yourself exactly the way you are. Notice it, observe. Oh, maybe, you know what, maybe next time I'll do it differently. Just make that observation and move on. But don't stay judging yourself. Don't stay criticizing yourself. Is planetary alignments or retrogrades this and that, or they are also an illusion and part of the matrix? Everything is part of the matrix. Everything is part of the matrix, and it's intentionally placed there for our awakening. Everything that we identify with from the physical standpoint on our external world, it's part of the matrix. Do you drink tea? Yes, I have a tea right here that I keep in a jar because it's really, really big, so I can fit more tea in it. I put a little bit of honey and a little bit of lemon. And this is all kinds of Egyptian herbs, but what makes it reddish like that, I had more, but it's more diluted now. It's hibiscus. I really love hibiscus in my tea, mixed with others too. Yeah. I try to learn English. Yes. Do that by listening to inspirational videos, so then you can actually listen to it. It goes into your subconscious mind. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you, Auntie Peristasis. Thank you so much. Hello from Kazakhstan. Wow, I love it. I'm seeing such beautiful videos from people who travel to Kazakhstan. I wish to get there one time, but I heard some interesting stories about it. But boy, it's so beautiful. Isn't it? Am I wrong? Share with us, Gurka, if you don't mind. Your own good instincts in your belly are always true for yourself. Yes, absolutely. Is a new moon today? Let's set the intention for the great life. Yes, UFO. Absolutely. UFO is suggesting that because it's a full moon today, we should set an intention for the great life. Absolutely, everybody. Yes? Kamas, you will be my guest. Oh, let me go ahead and follow you, because you never know. Maybe I will. Oh, I absolutely love it. Would you be so kind and send me a message so I can have you there? You never know. This is my dream. My dream is to go like this, to go to these very, very interesting places in the world. In fact, it's not a dream. It's a guidance. Like, I feel it within me. I feel it within me that I'm having to go to where all the main ley lines intersect in the world and meditate on those places. And because looking at the story of my life, my father worked in Egypt and in Iran, laying electric grids, like the high tension power towers that you see on the sides of the road and stuff, where those big electric cables run, and that fuel cities and stuff like that. Well, my dad used to build those things. He built them in Romania when he was in Romania, but then he started to work in Iran and in Egypt. And I went to visit him in Egypt, and when I was there, all I could see was these towers, and I would point out to everybody. And one day one of the guys said, "So your dad was a grid layer, a grid worker, an energy layers," which is my dad was a god. I mean, it's symbolic. Everything is symbolism, because the Egyptian gods are actually called netters, which is grid workers, grid create, like they're the ones who created the grid. Because what? Consciousness is a tapestry, right? It's a lattice of consciousness, right? A lattice of reflection of who we are. So basically, we are this entire lattice. But what is the lattice? It's an intersection of lines, right? So at the intersection of the major ley lines, there is one of these gods, one of these archetypes that we get to tap into to bring it into your existence in order to bring ourselves up into the Christ consciousness, right? So when I go to these ley lines, I feel that I'm guided to just meditate on them, on the intersection, and restore the intersection if it has been altered. That's a game that I eventually want to play. And so some of these countries, like Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, and they are, to me, they are on these ley lines, whether they exist or not, but because they ring true to me, like I have a resonance with these places. Egypt, Jordan, Ethiopia, Morocco, Portugal, like Mexico, Bolivia, Peru, Turkey. These are the countries that I see myself going to. A group meditation, like a circle in those. Yes, that's exactly what I would love to do. And we can even do it live and, like tapping with people across the world, so you don't have to, you can come and join the journey, but, you could just show up for maybe a couple of, anyways, I have ideas, but they're just seeds, and I'm letting them either come alive or be sent into whatever direction they're meant to go. Do you know? Asian drink, milk, tea, and tapioca pearls. I love it. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Antonique. I love it. I bet you it's delicious. Thank you, Gurka. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. I think that's me done. Gotta go. I have a great night. Me too, Veronica. I'm going to take off. Good night. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you, UFO. I love you guys. Okay. Harius, thank you for yours. From Singapore, Malaysia. I'm starting my inner journey and exploring TikTok. Thank you, Gotha. I appreciate you being here. If you're just starting your inner journey, look through my playlist. There is a good one called Shadow Work, and it might benefit you if you're just starting your shadow work. All right, guys, I think this is me tonight. I'm done. Sunflower, thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. I love you guys. If you have questions for me, please know that you can always send me messages I answer to everybody, and until I can't, but then we'll just reconfigure. We'll come up with a different story. We'll come up with a different plan. But for now, if you need me, you can always reach out to me in my messages. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you. I love you, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am for you guys being here tonight. Bye-bye.